What's going on, you guys? It's your Huggable Hipster here, and welcome back to a tea talk. We have not had a tea talk in like 2 weeks, I think. Oh my gosh, I have not gone that long not making a tea talk since when I moved up here to New York. It's been a crazy week, okay? Crazier than usual. We've been doing collaborations. We've just been busy. So we're gonna do some house cleaning before we actually get into the news of the tea talk. That way you guys know what's going on with the channel. That way you guys know what's going on with me, because I haven't really been doing updates or anything like that much because of just I just wish there were two versions of me. One that can enjoy an iced coffee in the Bahamas, and one that could just work here. But during this week, it was kind of crazy with the uploads and everything like that, doing 2 uploads here, just 1 upload there. And starting next week, I'm going to be going back to The Sims. I know there has been a lack of Sims lately on the channel. Yeah, that's gonna be fixed. So starting again, every Friday, we will be doing The Sims. I just can't do over the weekends anymore. It's like every time that I try to do something over the weekend to film, that's, you know, usually when my parents are going out, they want me to go with them. They, you know, I need to do stuff with them only, so I want to take the weekends just to film, just to prep, just to relax, do all that kind of stuff. And it's like, I thought, oh man, how did I even do 2 videos a day starting the channel? I don't even know how I did it then, but you know what? Things were less crazier than they are now. So that's going to be happening every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You guys are going to be getting videos, sometimes double uploads, sometimes not, depending on what I have going on. And every Friday there will be a Sims after a tea talk. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make Mondays and Wednesdays for the Resident Evil, I was about to say movies. I'm going to make Monday and Wednesdays for the Resident Evil games, and then Fridays is going to be the tea talk and the Sims. Considering the fact that, like, I honestly, like, I did not expect to enjoy Resident Evil 5 as much as I am currently. So we are going to be posting those. I am going to be hyping more of my playthroughs, more of my other reviews out, so you guys can get a chance to see those as well. And also starting on the tea talks, which actually it's starting in this episode, we're adding another segment in besides the gaming news and the YouTube news, which there isn't a YouTube news today actually. There's going to just be the gaming news and cafe spots. So I thought, since, hey, I love coffee, I love cafes, I love all the kind of like hipstery-esque stereotypical stuff genuinely, I thought I would incorporate some things, some cafes that I found that will look interesting to travel to from all around the world. We're also going to be going back into the Korean word of the day. I know that's been slacking a little bit. I apologize about that. And who knows, maybe down the road, an entire episode of the tea talk will be done in Korean. And also, I know I don't have to apologize for this being late, because you guys are awesome in the way that you're just like, oh, hey, you know, we don't care when you post, but I do. I very much care when I post. I woke up so late today. I woke up at 11:30. Like, no, that's not acceptable for me. 5 a.m., that's my peak. That's when I'm great. That's when I love life. But 11:30, that's like the day's over. So for those of you who are watching this right now, I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning into this tea talk, this late night tea talk. Now, as you guys know, per usual, all articles will be down in the description below for your viewing pleasure, so y'all can take a look at what I was researching. So the first thing I had, this is so funny, because like whenever I was looking this up, whenever I look things up for research, I look up gaming news, and then if I find something like in a specific niche, I'll research into it further. But this I found right away. And it was a lucky find, because I didn't even know this existed. This massive gaming PC packs an Xbox One X, a PS4 Pro, and a Nintendo Switch inside. And it's called the Big O. I mean, look at this thing. This thing is just, look at this thing. It's here in the article that here's one truly insane high-end gaming PC, a gigantic box that packs an Intel CPU with NVIDIA graphics and a Microsoft Xbox One S, a Sony PS4 Pro, and a Nintendo Switch. Its name, Origin Big O. It also states here that you have to put the Switch in yourself using a front-loading slot hidden behind a panel. That is actually a great implementation, because unlike Xbox and PS4, you'll want to be able to take the Switch away with you whenever you want. You know what? There's actually a video embedded into the article, so I'll link that video down below so you guys can check it out too. It continues on the article saying the console's guts have been removed. The console's guts have been removed. So morbid. The console's guts have been removed and mounted inside the box with individual metal casings. The PC components, the Xbox, the PS4, are marked with bright red and green and blue colors, and there's like a liquid, like a cooling liquid that goes out through each of the components. That way the computer does not overheat. Origin Big O also includes individual 2TB solid-state drives for each console. I can't imagine what this thing would come out to cost. Probably over easily over $5,000. If you are the mad human being willing to sink the money into this monster, you are out of luck. The Origin Big O is a custom build that these guys sent to the Unbox Therapy and, I presume, other influencers, but that's okay, because imagine it costs more than a MacBook Pro, which, I mean, you know, that would be worth the splurge. If it were more than a MacBook Pro and has all of those consoles inside, roughly about $5,000, considering the fact you have 3 consoles in there, 2 terabytes of a hard drive, liquid cooling. Any of my tech people who are watching, if you guys disagree with my price range, debate it down in the comments below. I want to know what your thoughts are on how much this would potentially cost. So, I mean, you know, if I had the money, if I had the funds to do so, you bet your sweet baby Buddha I would be buying the Big O. This is an article that I found that I thought was really interesting. It states here in the article, on a quiet street in Vancouver, Canada, independent EDM record label Monster Cat is craving a solution to a problem that has plagued gamers and content creators for more than a decade. Can streaming culture and music industry coexist in a world where algorithms are used to track down unlicensed tunes, strip audio from videos, and dole out bans to streamers? Gavin Johnson, head of Gaming Monster Cat, believes there can be a middle ground, which is an interesting concept. And the reason I say, to this entire thing is that whenever I see gaming and musicians, it's 2 completely separate things, but it can be intertwined in a way. Which, I mean, you know, there are musicians who are also gamers and vice versa, but still, it's very interesting to me how a lot of record labels now are going after certain streamers. Now, there's a quote here that states, "We're aiming to seamlessly connect the 2 industries, music and gaming," Johnson tells us from the sprawling Monster Cat studio. Now, it goes on to say in this article that while traditional music labels rely on copyright law to keep licensed tunes out of content creator videos and streams, Monster Cat has built a small EDM empire explicitly for them. Now, this studio is Monster Cat is more specifically known for its work in Marshmello whenever he debuted in 2016. This studio, unlike a lot, signs their artists on a track-by-track basis instead of a full album, which I think actually is pretty cool. So by the end of it, you have just accumulated massive amounts of songs. And it goes on to say, with a $5 monthly subscription, creators can stream these tunes in background for their content across YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, while keeping all of their revenue for themselves, which is such a cool thing. Like, that's always an issue that I have whenever I'm doing gaming or whenever I'm doing like a Twitch live stream or something like that. I always get like muted out from playing like a BTS song or a Cardi B song or like a Jessie song. Like, it always gets muted out, and I feel like this is an easy solution to that. Yeah, it's $5 a month, but I mean, you know, most people in Manhattan pay $5 a day for a coffee. And the thing is that this isn't going to be a fix globally. This isn't going to be like an easy fix. This is just one of the fixes that will help the problem along with the copyright issue that we are having today in the music and gaming industry. And the last bit of gaming news that we are getting into today is some Resident Evil 3 Nemesis news. We have some more little tidbits. So with the success of Resident Evil 2, it's hard to think that, are they going to create a Resident Evil 3 Nemesis remake? The answer is yes. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis first released in 1999. And it first released in 1999 for the Sony PlayStation. We see the return of Jill Valentine, and this is also occurring around the same time of Resident Evil 2, so it's just a different chapter of the same story in a way, because you see one side of the story with Resident Evil 2, and this is the other side with Jill Valentine. Now, this has a good and a bad kind of aspect to it, and the reason why I say that is because while Resident Evil, and also the article talks about this as well, this is something that I was thinking about whenever the news broke that, hey, they're remaking Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. It could prove to be kind of difficult because you have a somewhat open world with Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. In different territories than you were in Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2, you were inside a place. You were inside RPD for most of the game, while in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, you are outside exploring the city and different aspects of it. Kind of like the Umbrella Chronicles, but, you know, that was a different take on Resident Evil 3 than it was for this game. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis was just it was just its own breed. This is going to be my prediction for next year at E3, is that they are going to announce Resident Evil 3 Nemesis for 2021. They're going to probably have like an open beta or a teaser come out in probably mid 2020, I'm thinking, but no later than mid to late 2021 for release, and that's just simply because we haven't gotten a formal announcement from Capcom at all. This is all speculation, allegation, just everything is just up in the air at this point. And also they're working on Resident Evil 8 currently, so I don't know which one is going to come first, Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil 3. If they're going to be doing Resident Evil 3 at Capcom, it could go either way, you know? It could go, oh, they're going to announce Resident Evil 8 at Capcom, or they're going to announce the inner workings of Resident Evil 3 Remake. But now to get into our last part of the tea talk, which is gonna be a little kawaii. This first spot that we are going to be talking about, this first cafe, is in Harajuku, Japan, and it's called the Kawaii Monster Cafe. Now there's a day part of the cafe and there is a night part of the cafe, which there are different concepts, there's different things. Listen, I'll throw up some pictures here, okay? Now with this website, they have menus, they have different options, they have different things that you can look into for what you want to eat there, what you want to drink there, the food, anything really. Now they have different cocktails there, they have different, I mean, like, what the, seriously, that's just so cute though, honestly. They have different sweets there that you can get, different kinds of food. It's and for the nighttime, obviously, it's going to be a lot different. They have so many different themes and everything. They have a mushroom disco, a bar experiment, milk stand, tea room. There's just a lot there. So if you guys ever get the chance to go to Harajuku and go to the Kawaii Monster Cafe, I would highly recommend it. Not sponsored, but like I said, we are going to be diving into different cafes that I find interesting, and I'm going to tell you guys about them. Lastly, our Korean word of the day is next. Actually, it's a phrase. I lied, not word, it's phrase. And it's amsihada. Amsihada means to imply. So if you want to ask someone what kind of speech is implied or what word is implied, you would say hamsihada in a sentence that is used. And right now, since I'm still learning parts and bits of sentences, I can't use it in the sentence right now. My apologies. But hamsihada is basically to imply. So if you're asking someone, oh, what do they mean by this in this sentence, it's amsihada, which I know probably sounds kind of confusing, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below for those notifications. Stay casually nerdy, you guys, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Peace.